Greetings all. Today we'll be creating a stylized grass scene inside Unreal. Let's first make our grass model. For that we're gonna get a plane. We'll rotate it 90 degrees. We'll move the vertices around to make it look like a grass plot. Add some resolution. We are not gonna worry about the vertex count since that's gonna be handled by Nanite. Let's turn on proportional editing, change it to sharp, right? Let's duplicate and rotate a few times. Let's add some variation. We'll merge all but most of the tops. We'll check our UVs, rotate them 90 degrees. We'll export this as a GLB file and we'll switch to Unreal. Inside Unreal, we'll create a new level. The basic level will do. We'll delete all of the lights except the directional light and the height fog. Go to our landscape mode and create a landscape. Let's sculpt this. Import our grass model. The default settings will work just fine. Open up our grass model and let's enable Nanite and apply the changes. Let's create a new material, call it m_grass tutorial and create an instance. This we shall apply to our model. Let's open up our material, set the shading model to unlit, and in here we're just gonna create some basic variations. Let's first turn on two-sided. Let's get 3 color parameters. One will be base color, the main color, and the tip color. All of these will be looped using our UV coordinates. Let's get a loop node, plug this into the emissive color, set the main color to something that looks like grass, base color something that is a bit darker. Grab our coordinates and mask this in G, and this will be our base. We can get some control over this, but this looks just fine. Let's add another loop. We'll put the tip color at the bottom, the other loop at the top, connect this into the emissive, 1 minus this, and plug this into a power. Now the higher the power, the less tip we will be able to see. We'll control this from our instance. So let's just get a scalar parameter, name this tip fade, set it to an arbitrary value, and we'll forget this for now. We have our basic grass material. Now back to our landscape. Let's create a landscape material, new material. We'll call it m_landscape tutorial. Create an instance and plug that into the landscape material slot. Open up the instance and the actual material. Create a grass output node. And in that plugin, sample landscape layer node. The layer we shall call the grass layer. We'll set the landscape to unlit as well, and we'll promote this to a parameter, and that will be our landscape color. Something green will do. Now to bring the grass onto our landscape, we need to create another object. In our content browser, let's right click, go to foliage and select landscape grass type. In that object, we're gonna add a new element and select our grass model. We'll bump up the density, set the scaling to lock XY so that we can have some variation in the Z direction. Let's bump up the end cull distance as well. We don't want any shadows, and that should be all. Let's jump back to our landscape material and select our output node over there. It's asking for a grass type, and there we'll select the grass that we just created. Let's save all of this. Now on our landscape, let's jump to the paint tab, create a new layer info, save it anywhere, and all you need to do is just paint everywhere. Alright, right now you can see our grass is all pointing towards normal direction, which is not looking that great. To fix that, we'll jump to our grass type object and yeah, we'll turn off align to surface. Back in our scene, our grass now looks better. Our grass right now is very static. Let's animate this. For that, we'll jump back to our grass material and create a simple sway type effect. To do that, let's get a texture sample node and look for game wind noise. We are going to pan this using the world coordinates. To get that, we'll just get the absolute world position. Let's add time to it. Let's add a few multiply nodes. Add a divide after our world position, since the world position will be too small. 1000 should do, right? And you can see our grass is shaking. We don't want that. We want the basis of the grass to stay still. For that, we're just gonna grab our texture coordinate from the top, masking in the G direction, and plug this into the multiply. We have the opposite effect, so let's just add a 1 minus, right? So after our divide, we'll add another multiply node, expose this as our wind scale, and after our time, let's add a multiply and expose that as our wind speed. On the final multiply, let's add wind strength, set that to 10 maybe, and on this last multiply, we'll just grab a 3 float and set that to 110. We're gonna make this look better from our instance. Back in our world, let's enable all of these. Let's grab our wind speed, set that to 0.2 so that we have something less erratic. Wind scale, we'll bring it down to 0.5. That looks okay. Let's grab our base color by shift right clicking, and we'll plug this into our landscape. Maybe the base color is a little too dark. Let's bring it up. And the same onto our landscape. Let's fix this issue where the grass is cutting off. Open up our grass material. Let's add another color, which will be our distant color. Grab another loop, plug the distant color into the B channel, and for the alpha, we'll just grab the pixel depth node. We'll get a divide, and the divisor will be our fade start. Let's set this to a value of 10,000. Go back to our grass instance and we'll change this. So our grass looks a little better, but we still have some issues, and we will hide that using our fog. But before, let's grab an HDRI backdrop. If you don't see this, you need to enable that from your plugins. Let's enter this in our world. Change the size to maybe 10,000. Check use camera projection. For the cube map, grab anything that you like. And let's now go to our height fog and change the fog in scattering color to something that matches our HDR. Let's up the density and the fall off. Let's fix the color of our grass. Change the distant color so that we can blend with the background a little better. That seems alright. And we have our grass effect complete. We can play with the distant color a little more and also add more noises of different scales to our grass to make the wind look a little better. We can make more changes, add some more variation, get some more models. I hope you liked the tutorial. Let me know if there's anything else that you would like me to show. But that's all for today. Thanks for watching.